NBC Sports, home of the Olympic Games, Notre Dame football, the Ryder Cup, the NASCAR playoffs, Sunday Night Football, and Super Bowl 56, only on NBC.
Pray for the guy beside you. Pray for everybody. Let's go, baby.
Waiting all day for Sunday night. Let's get it.
Thought nothing could surprise you. You thought you'd seen everything, but you never saw me coming. All eyes on me, ready or not.
Ground shot. Jackpot, baby.
Devin Singletary motors into the end zone.
I'm on my way. You can't stop what I got. Ready or not.
Action! Please!
Go get their snacks of popcorn and go watch the show.
Down zone, you best get moving. I'm about to change the game.
Stafford impeccable on offense.
I'm rolling with Craig. Ready or not, you can't escape.
Patrick Mahomes sprints into the end zone.
Can't stop what I got. Ready or not.
Lamar Jackson, an unbelievable athletic display.
Mid-70s clear, perfect night in Baltimore for Sunday Night Football. Over 70,000 watched two of the last three NFL MVPs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs coming off a comeback win in Week 1 over the Browns. Going to Lamar's place, all the Lamar Jackson fans glad to see the Ravens home opener. They lost in Las Vegas on Monday night. They'll try to get back to the winning column. AFC contenders squaring off a beauty. Best matchup of the week on Sunday Night Football. And as always, we begin with Football Night in America. Hi, everyone. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Drew Brees. Rest of the team is here. You'll hear from everyone in just a moment. So Lamar Jackson's 24. Patrick Mahomes is 26. They've both had wild success at the start. We're going to see this rivalry for a while. Mahomes would like to change the count. Lamar, I should say, because Lamar has not beaten Patrick Mahomes thus far in 3 opportunities. You kind of lived something like this during your time with the Colts.
I absolutely did. The beginning of the Brady-Manning rivalry, and it was all Tom Brady early on, and that's all Peyton Manning heard from the media, from the fans, from everybody outside the building. When are you going to beat Brady? When are you going to beat Brady? And you really have to watch out trying to do too much in that situation. I had to warn Peyton about that. Just play your game.
That's exactly right. It's easy to think you got to make every play, but at the end of the day, just do your job. Trust the guys around you to do theirs as well, and just be patient and have poise.
Ravens aren't the Ravens that we thought we'd see coming into this season. They're 0-1. Kansas City comes in, might be another road team winning. We saw a bunch of road teams win in the early games again to start Sunday number 2. Anybody stick out for you?
To me, it was the Las Vegas Raiders. They played that big Monday night game, a lot of injuries, travel all the way across the country. They couldn't run the football, but Derek Carr was outstanding. He made all the plays in that win today for the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, the Panthers defense was absolutely dominant today against the Panthers defense was dominant against the Saints offense. They completely shut down the run. They got after Jameis all day long, and Sam Bradford looks awfully comfortable in this new offense and with his new weapons.
Pretty impressive performance for New Orleans on the defensive side of the ball. Week 1, not the case in Week 2 against Sam Darnold and the Panthers. We'll have highlights of that coming up. Speaking of quarterbacks, rough day for quarterbacks. Those 4 starting quarterbacks knocked out of their games. We'll have details on their injuries in a little bit. But I want to bring in Chris Sims and Maria Taylor, talk about some of the good things with quarterbacks we saw today.
Good evening, Mike. And yes, it was a good day for Chris Sims because he was just sitting in the screening room. No interceptions.
The whole day.
And all he was talking about were the best throws that he's seen so far today. So what are they? Lay them out there.
Well, let's go to Miami. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. I mean, the star of the show was the Buffalo defense today, but Josh Allen made a play that we're accustomed to seeing from last year. Breaks all the rules of quarterbacking. Scramble to the right, throw the ball all the way across the field. That's one of those, Maria, where the coach is yelling, no, 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 no. Yes, good play, Josh Allen. So awesome to see Buffalo get their first win of the year. Then, Trevor Lawrence. Let's give the rookie some love. It's Strugglesville down in Jacksonville right now. But regardless, this was an amazing throw right here. Up the sideline. Guy was covered when he threw it, put it in the right spot. One of the bright spots for Trevor today.
Strugglesville, Jacksonville.
Got it?
I see what you did there. Now, okay. Trevor Lawrence, he's already lost 2 games in his professional career. Remember, he only lost 2 games his entire collegiate career. He went 34-2. But I'll tell you who's always winning. Jack Collinsworth and Rodney Harrison, because they're on the road in Baltimore, hanging out outside of M&T Bank Stadium. Good evening, fellas.
Maria, good evening to you. This may be the best crowd that we've seen all year. We just had a marching band go by. This is like a college-type atmosphere. It's crab cakes and defensive football noise. That's what Maryland does. We've been locked in on that side of the ball all day.
What the heck is this dude doing? What are you doing behind me, man?
We got the Ravens. He doesn't say much, Rod. He doesn't say much. We've been locked in on that defensive side of the football all day, though. Top of the AFC East. They look pretty good. What was the best defense that you saw today?
First, I'm going to give a little props to the Buffalo Bills defense. They did an awesome job. But to me, it's for the New England Patriots. 4 interceptions, 2 by J.C. Jackson. They were outstanding today.
We've seen Bill Belichick dismantle these rookie quarterbacks before. How does he create those ghosts inside of their mind?
First, you never want a young quarterback to come to the line of scrimmage and feel comfortable. So constant movement, disguised by the linebacker, safety. Or sometimes you want to do a delayed blitz directly in his face. And sometimes these young quarterbacks think this is still college. And of course they try to fit it in. But at the end of the day, a lot of disguise and moving around and putting pressure on his face, pressure directly in his face, and that's what happens.
You told me earlier you used to do the exact same thing to Tom Brady as well. The Ravens, they are trying to recreate the defensive fear that Ray Lewis trademarked in this city. Calais Campbell is leading that effort. And on the other side, he goes one-on-one with Rodney Harrison.
The Lowe's home team is back in its second season this year to help improve communities across the country. And recently, Ravens defensive end Calais Campbell kicked off this season's Hometown Heroes program at the Allen AME Church in Baltimore. He helped build the United Way Kids Garden, which will be used as a learning tool for students. This week, our Rodney Harrison spoke with Campbell ahead of tonight's matchup against Mahomes and the always dangerous Chiefs offense.
How physical do you guys plan on being? Because when I sit back and I watch tape, I just see the guys just running up and down the scene. Is that something that you guys have addressed? Because these guys are all fast and athletic, and you got to play physical if you want to slow them down.
Hey, man, you're trying to get the whole game plan, man. We watched a lot of tape. You know, the guys, when they really struggle is when you beat up their receivers and Kelsey. And really, it's 10 and 87. When you beat those guys up, make it uncomfortable for them, you know, that's when you have a chance to win the ball game. So we have a good game plan in place. I'm excited for it.
It's a great visit with Calais Campbell right there. You got the full conversation over on NBCSports.com. Now you get to feel the marching band as they play in the background here. He admitted, you know the game plan. So what specifically is it, Rod?
First and foremost, it's a pretty simple game plan. But number one, you have to communicate. They have to do a better job of that. Marlon Humphrey, defensive back, he talked about that. But second, Jack, they got to get physical, man. They got to get up in the receiver's face. They got to jam them. They got to slow them down. They got to do anything they can to reroute these guys and make their life miserable for 4 quarters.
You just made me very glad I never played in the NFL, Rodney Harrison. That was a smooth shot right there, very smooth shot. So if you were still playing for Bill Belichick, you were still playing safety, which you just proved to me that you could be. I'm going to ask you the impossible question. How do you stop Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill simultaneously?
Well, you're not going to stop them, but you're going to slow them down. And what we would do is sometimes we would rush 3, double team Travis Kelce with myself and a linebacker, and just double jam a tight end and won't get him off the line, won't allow him off the line. Then with Tyreek Hill, you put your best corner on him, but you got to keep a safety back. You have to switch it up. Sometimes you blitz. Don't blitz very often, but you got to play physical with these guys if you want to have a chance.
Mike, I don't know. I may need to hire Calais Campbell as a bodyguard. Back over to you.
Trust me, Rodney still hits hard. He did it to me all last year. I couldn't take it. So rush 3 and then cover. The Baltimore Ravens, would they do that?
No, that is not their plan. That's what Rodney Harrison would do. Let's show you what Baltimore has tried to do against Patrick Mahomes. It's not 3 guys up there, Drew. It's 7 guys up front, 4 guys straight across in the back. That tells you they're blitzing, trying to bring one more than you can block. And in this case, it's going to be Marlon Humphrey. He's going to be free, and we'll see what Patrick Mahomes does.
If you're Patrick Mahomes in the Saints or the Chiefs offense, you say, I love this. Thank you very much. Because what this now presents is an opportunity to gain depth away from the pressure, allow your receivers to work one-on-one down the field, and then launch one.
Most quarterbacks, when a guy's free, it's throw the ball hot, break out quick, let me get it out of my hands. But watch Mahomes. No, I'll just backpedal away from this pressure, take the hit, and launch it.
And not many guys can do this because of his feel. He knows where the pressure's coming from. He can drift away from it, and then he has the arm strength to push the ball 60, 70 yards down the field.
With an unblocked guy right in his face. Now, are they going to keep doing this? They haven't had success.
I think they need to stay patient. I think the Ravens need to realize that when we pressure Patrick Mahomes, bad things happen. So let's keep it in front of us, and let's try to make them earn every step of the way.
You know what I love? Mahomes is having such an impact. We're seeing a bunch of quarterbacks backpedal and try to make that throw, which is cool, except they're not him. That's the one guy who can do it on a regular basis. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs coming up against the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. A lot ahead, including highlights from a bunch of good early games. What a day for the Raiders. Short week on the road in Pittsburgh, and they're undefeated. And the Panthers also still perfect. Dominating performance against Jameis and the Saints. All the highlights still to come as football night continues. What a week it is. The 43rd Ryder Cup. U.S. against Europe at Whistling Straits. There's no first tee like the Ryder Cup. The live coverage starts tomorrow, 4 Eastern on Golf Channel. The opening tee shot Friday morning at 8. We'll have it for you. Golf Channel, NBC, and Peacock. RyderCup.com. All the info you need during this week. Let's get to the highlights of Sunday number 2. Tony will begin in Jacksonville, where Denver's 1-0. Trevor Lawrence, first home start, looking for win 1, the number 1 overall pick. Here he is early on. Good opening drive. Marvin Jones a touchdown.
Yeah, this was a great throw, but after this, Denver ramped up that pressure and forced Trevor into some mistakes.
19 incompletions. It was the Broncos up by 3 at the half, and a good second half with Teddy Bridgewater. Cortland Sutton on a big ball here.
Yeah, he has really looked in control of this Denver offense. 2 good games back-to-back. Teddy Bridgewater is giving them something special at the quarterback position.
Yeah, 2 touchdown passes. Here's the second to Noah Fant. 328 yards on the day for Bridgewater. Denver's 2-0 for the first time since 2018. Drew Houston in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield trying to avoid the 0-2 start. We're tied at 7. Mayfield's looking for Anthony Schwartz. The receiver makes a mistake. There's a pick here, but the quarterback makes an even bigger mistake.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you get fired up. You want to make the guy who intercepted it pay, but you better be careful you don't stick your arm out there. And Baker goes into the locker room. Good thing he comes back out later.
Yeah, concern for that left shoulder. He does come back and play. Meantime, the opposite number, Tyrod Taylor back in Cleveland. 15-yard run. Slows up there at the end with a touchdown. 14-7. He later left the game with a hamstring. You mentioned Drew Mayfield back in here on the move.
He played really efficient all day long. 19 of 21. Threw the ball well. Made plays with his legs.
And a guy we saw in the preseason, Demetric Felton, the 6th-round pick out of UCLA.
This guy gives him something exciting. Will line up in the backfield, running back position at receiver. Gives him a nice element.
And one they've seen the last couple of years. Nick Chubb to close the deal. 26-yard score. Chubb is 8th straight regular season game with a rushing touchdown. The Browns hold on and win by 10. Cincy to Chicago here, Tony, to take on the Bears. That's Andy Dalton going up against his old team, 9 years as the Bengals QB. Good first drive with Allen Robinson finishing.
And this is why they love Andy Dalton. At least Matt Nagy loves Andy Dalton. Very, very sharp. He understands the offense, played well early on.
This was the bad point for Dalton. Second quarter with the lead. He's scrambling. 14-yard gain, but that step with the left leg there, then he will not come down with full weight on it. He did come back for a drive, but then went to the locker room and eventually would not return. More on him with Mike Florio in a second. Now the opposite number, Joe Burrow, trying to bring the Bengals back. Looking for Tyler Boyd, intercepted by Roquan Smith, who brings it back.
And the Chicago defense really did pick it up after Dalton went out, and this is their identity. This is who they are on defense, fast and physical.
And then Burrow has intercepted the next 2 pass attempts. So with the Dalton injury, it's Justin Fields, the rookie they've been clamoring for in Chicago, but he gets picked off by Logan Wilson.
And I think Drew Brees would call that a rookie mistake.
There are more than a few
they happen
for Fields. Next play, it's Burrow. He responds. T. Higgins the touchdown. 20-17.
Back in the game. Now we've got to make some plays, but this is what Justin Fields can bring to the table.
Sure is. Those legs, the scrambling ability, the first-round pick out of Ohio State, gets out of harm's way, gets a first down, and gets the victory for Chicago, 20-17. So the Fields story, 7 series, 7 first downs. That's not very good. 6 completions, 6 points. I want to know if we're going to hear all those people who are clamoring, oh, Fields has to start, Fields has to start. We saw him Did he look ready to start as a quarterback in the NFL right now?
Well, here's the thing. If the Bears defense can play like that, then you have the opportunity to bring Justin Fields along slowly. You can start building the offense around him. Listen, he's going to have some growing pains. All rookie quarterbacks do. But with a defense playing like that, he can stay within himself, and you can bring him along slowly.
And that's what I would do, Mike. If I were Matt Nagy, I'm putting him in the lineup, and I'm telling that defense, you have to play like that.
Exactly.
And we've got to get it done and help our young quarterback.
But we see why it wasn't so easy. Just throw him in there, right? He looked like he needs a little bit of more work. Now let's bring in Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. Mike, let's talk about the injury with Andy Dalton. What are you hearing?
Well, it is a knee injury, Mike. For now, the Bears don't think it's a season-ending torn ACL. He'll have an MRI tomorrow to determine the extent of the damage. If he's out, yes, they have Super Bowl 52 MVP Nick Foles, and no, Coach Matt Nagy wouldn't say after the game which guy would start between Fields and Foles. Look for Justin Fields to get that start in the next game if Dalton cannot play. Tyrod Taylor, the Texans' starting quarterback in the absence of Deshaun Watson, suffered a hamstring injury in the first half of today's game at Cleveland. Short week, Thursday night game. If Taylor can't go, is this the return of Deshaun Watson? Coach David Culley said we'll see after the game as to the possibility of Deshaun Watson playing. I'm told it would be a major shock if it's anyone other than rookie Davis Mills. And keep this in mind. The NFL has not yet decided whether to put Deshaun Watson on paid leave pending these sexual assault allegations made against him because they haven't had to. The Texans aren't playing him. If all of a sudden they were going to play him, the league would have to make a decision on whether to put him on the commissioner exempt list, Mike.
Short week, as you mentioned. They play Thursday night. Welcome to those of you who watch the Cowboys and the big kick at the end of the game from Greg Zuerlein at SoFi. A game winner as Dallas beats the Chargers 20-17 to get to 1-1. And welcome to those of you who watch the Arizona Cardinals hang on as Minnesota had a 37-yard game winner for Greg Joseph. And Joseph, the fourth-year kicker, missed it. Arizona keeps the NFC West undefeated. Here's more now with Maria.
Wow, two incredible endings. Let's go to a rookie quarterback matchup in the AFC East. We've got the Patriots, we got the Jets, and we've got some mistakes, Chris Sims. We start with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes for Zach Wilson today. You know, it's the New England Patriots defense. You know they're very talented. They're always well coached. And Zach Wilson certainly had issues throughout the game. You're going to see here, Maria, on the roll to the right. This is the one maybe that's not his fault. Corey Davis, I think he'll want to catch that ball tomorrow when he watches the film. It goes through both of his hands. But some of these other ones are not good.
This is second quarter, Jets driving. What?
Yeah.
Wilson, another interception by J.C. Jackson. He had two in the first half.
He's got to learn, again, this is NFL football. It's not BYU anymore. The defense is going to win some plays at times, and you're not going to be able to bring the offense back in one play with magical throws. And I think he just forced the issue a few too many times today.
3 of his first 5 pass attempts were intercepted. We take you into the ghost again that Cal Vanoy was doing a little bit of trolling there, a little Sam Darnold reminiscing. Meanwhile, there are no ghosts for Damian Harris as he runs in for a touchdown.
No, and this is where New England is special. They play defense, and they can run the ball on just about any look. And if Mac Jones managed the game properly, they're going to win a lot of games like we saw today. Kind of ugly, but it's a victory nonetheless.
All right, so the Patriots win their 11th straight game against the Jets, and we kind of saw two polarizing performances from the rookie QBs. We've got Mac Jones, who's taking what the defense gives him. We saw Zach Wilson with those 4 interceptions. What is your take on watching these first-year quarterbacks?
Well, I think Mac Jones realized, like, hey, he's smart. He's kind of plays like a veteran. Wait, our defense is good. We run the ball. I don't need to take too many chances. You know, again, today, the Jets defense was playing okay as well. Zach Wilson's just got to realize there's going to be some ugly parts of the game, especially when you're playing in New England in the AFC East for the rest of your career. And just at times, punting the ball, taking a sack is the right play.
Hey, look, rookie QBs against Bill Belichick-led Patriots teams are 6-21. So now Zach Wilson joins in that group. Meanwhile, Sammy Watkins, remember, those are his old teammates. Played the last 3 seasons with the Chiefs, piling on the love now. It'll be all business later. We're getting you ready for the Chiefs taking on the Ravens tonight.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Sunday Night Football! Everybody watching!
Well, this Baltimore crowd is about to get their first look at the Ravens as they welcome in the best in the AFC for home game number 1. The Chiefs are in their 9th season under Andy Reid and looking to reach the Super Bowl for a 3rd straight year earlier. Rodney Harrison caught up with the Chiefs head coach.
Coach, you get back 2 veteran defensive players, Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark. How big is that for your defense?
Yeah, well, it's great. Those are 2 good leaders. Tyrann's he coordinates everything on the back end there, and Frank brings great energy.
A big challenge for your new offensive line. What concerns you?
Well, you got a veteran group on the other side. They're pretty good, and so it'll be a good test for our young guys. They passed last week. They got to do it again this week.
What'd you tell your team about coming into this hostile environment and dealing with all the noise?
It's going to be loud, and then they're going to play a little rock and roll on top of that. It's even going to be louder. So the fans here are unbelievable.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Randy.
All right, Andy's former team, the Eagles, taking on the 49ers. 4th and goal, up 3, little Philly special. Greg Ward ready to throw. Jalen Hurts is covered. Hard to run Philly special when you're Philly. Everybody knows it's coming. Turn it over on downs. Let's pick up the 49ers. Offense struggling. Getting going here. Garoppolo to Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, Jimmy G started off slow in this game, but led a nice 2-minute drive to finish out the half.
Yeah, 40 yards down the field, and then Jawan Jennings for the touchdown. San Francisco kept off the board for the first half until then. Jennings' first career NFL catch puts the 49ers on top by 4. Now a long drive here, Drew, and a Garoppolo keeper for the score.
Yeah, this finished it off. San Francisco defense did a nice job thwarting Jalen Hurts and his weapons on offense.
We'll see the Niners next Sunday night against the Packers. Tony, let's go to Indianapolis, your old stomping grounds, as Carson Wentz makes his debut there. They struggled in the red zone again this week.
Yeah, and this is Frank Reich going for it on 4th and 1 rather than taking the sure field goal. Rams defense rises up and stops.
7-3, second quarter, they're back in the red zone. Shovel pass is picked off.
Another opportunity wasted. Rams defense stepping up one more time, keeping them out of the end zone.
The Rams look good at times on offense. They were up 3, couldn't put the Colts away. Key spot here. Nick Scott, personal protector, slides over. Got in the way of the snap.
Didn't slide over far enough.
Ashton Dullin's going to recover it, and the Colts, who hung in this game, now have taken the lead. So can Matthew Stafford lead a comeback? All he keeps doing is throwing it to Cooper Kupp, and why not?
Kupp was fantastic today. The Colts had no answer for him. Big play after big play.
44 yards down the field there, gets them close. Why not go back to him for his 3rd touchdown, his 16th catch of the year?
He has been on fire, and I think he likes playing with Matthew Stafford.
Wentz in the 4th quarter on 3rd down, trying to lead a comeback. He got tangled up with Aaron Donald. That's not good. An ankle injury.
Yeah, they put Aaron Donald on the right side of the offensive line, and he wreaked havoc this whole game.
So the second-year man out of Washington, Jacob Eason, tries to come in and lead the comeback. Trusts his arm, but Jalen Ramsey's there. We saw how good Ramsey's playing on Sunday night. He continues there. A 3-point win for the Rams on the road. So Indy's lost to Seattle and the Rams, a couple of good teams. But the offensive side with Carson Wentz, a bit of a concern for you right now?
Yeah, it is. He's a very talented guy, but who has not been able to stay healthy. And while you sit back and you appreciate his courage and his toughness and his desire to want to extend plays and do all these things, at the end of the day, he has to stay available. He has to stay durable. Just like you would tell a receiver or a running back, hey, know when your journey's come to an end. It's okay to go down, live to play another day. That's just something that he's going to have to begin to understand and embrace, or else he's just not going to be able to stay healthy.
Yeah, and I thought Carson Wentz would have a huge year this year, getting reunited with Frank Reich, playing behind a great offensive line who would protect them better than they did in Philadelphia, but that hasn't been the case. He's gotten hit way too much so far this year.
We saw a foot injury, and there's immediate concern with Wentz after the surgery in the offseason, but different foot. But Mike Florio, what are you hearing about Carson?
Well, it is an ankle injury on that right foot. They will know more tomorrow about whether and to what extent he'll miss time. If he's out, Jacob Eason is the next man up. Brett Hundley's on the roster. Sam Ehlinger's on IR. If he's going to miss significant time, there will be talk of a possible trade for Nick Foles, just like there was back after that foot surgery happened early in camp, Mike.
Of course, the same connection, obviously, with Frank Reich from back in their Philly days. Lamar taking the field in Baltimore. This is an important game for the Ravens. They don't want to go 0-2, but it's a tough task against the Kansas City Chiefs tonight.
Securing the win. Presented by Simply Safe.
And the Chiefs have won in overtime on an improbable victory. We tried all game long. Goodbye, Baltimore Ravens.
You do your thing, bro.
Let's go. We're going to see y'all again.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Pat Mahomes beating Lamar Jackson.
You get over the hurdle of the Chiefs.
football night in America is brought to you by Applebee's Fancy Light Date Night Menu and by Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
The team that played in the first Super Bowl will try to play in 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Super Bowl 56, of course, here on NBC. Patrick Mahomes trying to lead the Chiefs back there, trying to get them another victory first. Sunday Night Football against Baltimore is ahead. Back to the highlights, Tony. Let's look at Buffalo and Miami and a good second play from scrimmage for the Bills' Devin Singletary.
Yes, Buffalo had very little offense last week. They came out of the gate strong. Singletary with a great run here.
So Buffalo's up 7-0. See if Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins, who won Week 1, can come back. Fourth down here. It's an incomplete pass, but more importantly, A.J. Epinesa hits Tua.
And this was really the story of the game. The Buffalo defense putting tremendous pressure on the Miami quarterback.
Rib injury, Tua out. More on that in a minute. You know Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, they get each other. And this is one of the reasons they get each other. Look at this work together on the field.
Yeah, that's quite a handshake routine, but if it leads to this type of chemistry, I'm all for it.
Oh, what a play. Allen scrambling. He's got that Mahomes-like arm. Big. He trusts it. He can make the unscripted plays. Tua's out. Jacoby Brissett is in. It wasn't much better. He gets picked off here by Levi Wallace.
No, not a good day for the Miami offense. Buffalo defense really stepped up, played well today.
First time Buffalo has shut out Miami since back in 1966. First shutout of the NFL season. Raiders won on Monday night over the Ravens. Short week, go to Pittsburgh, take on Big Ben. Dumps it here to Najee Harris.
Oh, and he may be getting a letter from the league for roughing the tackler.
That is good.
That is why they drafted him in the first round. Mike Tomlin wants some of those highlight reel plays.
His best Derrick Henry impression. Let's get to Derek Carr. We know the performance he put up in the comeback Monday night. Up top, Foster Moreau, the tight end.
Very little running game today. A lot of people injured. Carr had to be good, and he was good. This is a brilliant throw, great read. He found his mismatches all day.
We were worried about Carr as he got rolled up on at the end of that touchdown, but he stayed in the game. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers, work cut out for them. They try to get to Najee Harris. He does the work again.
They had trouble running the football, but he, in the passing game, made it happen, stretches out, makes the play here, puts them in position to be in the game.
Yeah, so now it's a 2-point game. Carr feeling good. That leg is working, ready to roll. Oh, Al Davis would have loved this. Deep ball to Henry Ruggs.
He really would. That's what he loves. Guys with speed. Ruggs has speed. Put the ball right on the money for him.
61 yards. The Raiders had some tough losses last year. Come up with a huge one on a short week on the road in Pittsburgh.
Is it good for the confidence? I mean, everyone's like, well.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a philosophical Socrates up here. We're all confident. We have a confident group. We were confident last year. We lost some heartbreaking wins, gut-wrenching, disgusting losses at the end of football games. So we have a long way to go. We're nowhere near perfect. God bless you. Sorry to interrupt you.
Socrates and disgusting in the same sentence. I'll let my man Johnny Gruden. Time to simplify the game. Powered by Microsoft Surface. Chris Sims, you lived that world for a while.
I definitely did. I never executed that offense, though, like Derek Carr is right now. I mean, he's surgical with a short passing, intermediate passing game. But, Drew, let's check out the one deep pass we just saw with Henry Ruggs. Pretty amazing. Johnny Gruden knows how to dial him up.
Yeah, he does. So here's a pressure look from the Pittsburgh defense. It's going to be a man pressure, 6-man rush. You've got Minkah Fitzpatrick right here. He should be in the middle of the field, cheated this direction. Why is he cheated over there? Well, because you got one of the best tight ends in football, Darren Waller, there. So he's cheated there. Watch as this play runs. You've got a nickel pressure who's free, okay? We'll stop it there. Now, what would a quarterback normally be thinking? Hey, I've got a free rusher coming at me. Let's just get the ball out here to Hunter Renfrow. But no, Derek Carr feels this low safety, and he says, all right, Ruggs, here we go. I'm launching it to you. Excellent throw. You've got to be near perfect to make that throw there. But Derek Carr did on that play, and he really was all day long.
And what's amazing is it's really not the place you should go with the ball against that coverage.
It's not.
But he just got great feel and great instincts right now. Back to you, Mike. Johnny Gruden, he's kicking some butt.
Yeah, Raiders off to the good start, too. Now, meantime, to Pittsburgh and some injury concerns, Mike Florio, especially with their highly paid star on defense.
Yeah, linebacker T.J. Watt left the game with a groin injury. I'm told it's not believed to be something that will keep him out multiple weeks, but it kept him out of an important game. And for T.J. Watt, that's significant enough. The good news is if he can't play Melvin Ingram, who got a lot of playing time in training camp and preseason when Watt was waiting for that contract, he slides right in. The Tua Tagovailoa injury, we saw him being carted to the locker room. The rib injury, x-rays negative, tests tonight and tomorrow. We'll know more tomorrow about whether and to what extent he misses time. Jacoby Brissett is the backup, but if he's going to be out for an extended period of time, you know, Mike, the Deshaun Watson talk is going to start all over again for the Dolphins.
That's in a couple of different places with quarterback injuries with Houston and Miami. Speaking of injuries, the Ravens running backs hit hard by injury this season. You see the three names at the top. Williams, Murray, and Freeman trying to carry the load now, waiting for Le'Veon Bell on the practice squad. They did run for 189 yards against the Raiders, top running total in the league week 1. But try to do it against the Chiefs tonight.
Simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL.
It's time to get on your feet.
Football Night in America, gang all here and ready to go.
Taste the goodness of that barbecue.
Gasoline in my veins, be the fuel through my pain.
Makes the catch, burning the defender. Touchdown.
As we rise from the flames. Heart of a lion, never say never.
He fooled everybody on that lay.
Under pressure.
Off the scramble, staying poised, burning the defender.
Oh, it's time to fire on
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
A sellout crowd pouring in as the Ravens get set for the one team they still have to prove they can beat in the Kansas City Chiefs. Tyrann Mathieu is back, getting set for his first action of the season. Just worked his way off COVID protocols.
I love that dude.
Ryan, I know you've been drawn to his game. How do you catch your eye?
Man, in college, I'm looking at the game and I'm like, who is this little guy going around knocking people out, creating havoc? And then I loved him so much. When I watched him, I said, you know, let me pick up the phone and call the Patriots. I called the Patriots, say, hey, man, you got to get this guy. He's versatile, he's tough, he's smart, he's a tremendous leader, and they still didn't draft him.
And Rod, Sunday Night 7 is back. 100 G's on the table every week. Tonight it's Travis Kelce. Receptions and receiving yards, where does he land?
I'm going 7 receptions, and I'm going 70 to 89 yards. Anything more than that, then Baltimore Ravens defense is in trouble. But yeah, 70 to 89 yards.
I like it. You can make your sports on the NBC Sports Predictor app. Maria, back over to you.
All right, appreciate it, Jack. Now let's get you back to the highlights. Minnesota taking on Arizona. Remember, Kyler Murray had 5-touchdown game last week against the Titans, so expect some fireworks here.
Yeah.
How about a 12-yard touchdown run this week?
I mean, the acceleration is insane. He's like the road runner out there.
Well, he's doing his baby Yoda pose because of all that. Yeah,
okay.
So that's what he is, at least tonight. Okay, Murray buying some time, looking for Rondell Moore downfield. How about you go for 77 yards and make Drew Brees happy because you're a Purdue boy?
Well, you might want to cover that guy. Yeah, Drew Brees is very happy when this happened, but it's just amazing. Free rusher, he gets away, still finds an unbelievable big pass play down the field to Rondell Moore.
Okay, Arizona was up 1 at the half, but then a little defense popped in.
Finally, some defense in this game, and Nick Vigil does a great job of really just reading Kyler Murray's eyes. I think Kyler kind of threw it blind. He does a good job getting 2 hands on the ball, pick 6.
All right, we take you to the fourth quarter now. Cards down by 2, going for it on 4th and 5. Kyler, what do you have in your back pocket?
Well, he's got a lot in his back pocket because he has a great arm, he has a great feel for the game, but there, just floating away versus the all-out blitz gives his guy a chance in Christian Kirk.
Yeah, 35-yard reception not shown. The Cardinals will take a field goal, it'll be 34 to 33. Then, under 2 minutes to go, Adam Thielen gets the 12-yard gain. So first down, and we're into field goal range. Greg Joseph on for the kick.
Chip shot.
37
What
yards.
easy we saw
Here we
all
go.
day. Oh,
Vikings fans, that never has happened before. It's never happened before. Arizona wins by 1, Mike.
7 lead changes in that game, none in this one. It was dominated by Carolina Maria from the start. Sean Payton missing 8 assistants because of COVID, 5 defensive starters. Sam Darnold took advantage of those defensive guys missing, Drew.
He looks awfully comfortable in this offense right now, spreading around all his playmakers. Christian McCaffrey had a huge day as well.
Brandon Zylstra, that touchdown to the offense. Jameis Winston threw 5 touchdown passes in week 1 over the Packers. Different story today. Sacked here as it was a struggle for the New Orleans front. 65 total yards in the first half. To the second we go. And Darnold finding his tight end, Dan Arnold. It's Darnold to Arnold for 17.
Former Saint Dan Arnold making the Saints pay.
3 plays later, it started to DJ Moore.
Yeah, Saints defense played well, but they were on the field entirely too long. And unfortunately, with some injuries, they were taking advantage of at times.
Trying to get on the board before the end of the half. Winston is intercepted by Justin Burris, his first interception of the season. Taking to the third quarter, Saints still down 17, and again the pressure on Jameis Winston.
That front really got after Jameis with the 4-man rush and also with pressure, forced him into 2 turnovers, a lot of sacks, a lot of QB hits.
They had 11 possessions and only ran 43 plays. Saints offense struggled mightily. Carolina 2-0.
Offensively, particularly, it's as poor as we've been in a long time around here, and that starts with me. We've got to do a better job going in. Our protection plan wasn't very good. It had nothing to do with us being shorthanded with coaches or us being away or the COVID. All of those would be excuses.
So we'll hold a tailoring on Jameis Winston's gold jacket that folks were ready to give him last week. Only 6 first downs for the Saints in the game. That's their fewest as a franchise since '97. Why a 180-degree turn for the offense?
Well, they couldn't get anything going. They couldn't sustain any drives. They couldn't complete any balls. They couldn't run the football, and they left their in defense out there entirely too long. 40 minutes in this game. Give credit to Carolina. They had a great plan defensively. They're a hard defense to plan for. They were kind of this college defense that came in under Matt Rule, and it was hard to game plan for. It was really hard to adjust to at times, but it's obvious that they're very comfortable running this scheme now, and it showed today.
And I'd like to talk about Sam Darnold a little bit. You know, in New York, hey, he's not the guy and he can't do this. He's looked exceptional these first 2 weeks, very much under control.
So a good start for Carolina at 2-0 and atop the division. Time now for the PointsBet Pulse, looking at Lamar Jackson. PointsBet has his rushing over-under total for tonight at 68.5 yards. That's the most of any player. Drew, I want to ask you about him. How effective do you think he's going to be running the ball against the Chiefs tonight?
Well, I think he needs to be effective, but he also needs to understand that 4 and 5 yards is okay. It doesn't have to be a home run every time. Most important thing is that you possess the ball, you get first downs, and more importantly, let's keep Patrick Mahomes off the field.
Part of the equation tonight. Download the PointsBet app. Get betting options you won't find anywhere else. Take you on the field in Baltimore. More highlights of the late games as football night continues.
Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
One of the great things about Generation Home.
Those work habits, they kind of get lost to society.
Someone's motivation can be another's inspiration. When you're set on realizing your dreams,
An unbelievable athletic display.
you do everything it takes to succeed. And along the way, you might just change the game.
I will rise, staring at you from afar, analyzing every scar, asking myself how we got here. Remember, this is who we are. I just came here to win. I just came here to fight. Show you everything you said I couldn't be. I became overnight. This for the blood, this is for the tears, this is for my pain and my plight. 2 walked in, but only one of us is walking out of here tonight. I'm a survivor.
They have inspired a generation of young quarterbacks. They get out of the pocket, they're on the move, they can do magical things with their arms. We'll see. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, head-to-head once more time here on Sunday Night Football coming up in just a few minutes. When we go on the field, presented by Hyundai, let's talk about the guys they like to get it to. Drew, we'll start with Kansas City's Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill is saying, I really hope that the Ravens defense pressures us like they normally do, because you know what that means? That means one-on-ones and lots of space. I like space, because that's when I get open and make plays.
And the low-key flash in the deuces so he doesn't get a taunting penalty, right? What about Hollywood Brown? A little similarity in the offense in his role.
And I think he's going to be key tonight. Kansas City's defense is going to focus on taking away the tight ends and the inside throws. He's got to be effective outside and up the field, make some big plays in the passing game.
All right, as we work towards Sunday night Night Football. All the late games are done. Let's bring you the highlights of some of them. Let's start with Atlanta and Tampa Bay. We were there to see Tom Brady and the Bucs unveil the banner. Feels like forever ago. It was only a week and a half ago. But he and Gronk are still rolling, Drew. 20-yard touchdown to get it going today.
It took these guys a little bit to get going last year with their first year in the offense, but put the rest of the NFL on notice right now. If you're in the red zone and you're playing against the Buccaneers, you might want to cover Gronk.
Another 2-touchdown game. Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns as well. The Bucs were up big. Atlanta got back in this game. They tightened it up within 3, but Brady took Chris Godwin. Tom Brady, 5 touchdowns today, 9 in his first 2 games, and then Matt Ryan under pressure and turned it over not once but twice.
Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense played well up until this point. All of a sudden, 2 of these pick sixes to finish out this game.
And by the same guy, Mike Edwards got the first, he got the tip, and got the second. First player with 2 pick sixes in a game in 9 years. Zach Brown did it in 2012. The Bucs are rolling at 2-0. This just over. Welcome to those of you who watched a wild one with Tennessee and Seattle. Russell Wilson and company off to a big lead. A deep ball to Tyler Lockett.
You're wondering what happened to the Tennessee defense. Just people running wide open all over the field. Tyler Lockett making plays. This is how the game started, but it changed.
It was 24-9. Seattle had this game taken care of in the second half. Tennessee came back up. Derrick Henry, a huge second half rushing. He had 147 yards on the ground in the second half.
And they stayed with him in the second half and kept feeding him the ball. He got stronger and stronger.
Wilson, one more deep ball. Up 8. Freddie Swain on the other end. Wide open.
It would be nice if we had some coverage, but this was kind of the last highlight for Seattle.
6 touchdowns, no picks. Wilson rolling. Things look good. Seattle defense at home. 4th quarter lead. There goes Derrick Henry. You wondered for 6 quarters where he was. There he is.
Defensive backs can't believe how fast this guy is for his size. He runs away from people in the secondary.
Titans defense holds. They get the ball. They go down the field. Henry pounds it in. They kick the extra point. They tie it. They head to overtime. After an exchange of punts, Tennessee gets it, moves it down the field. They got field position because of good defense on Russell Wilson. And from 36, Randy Bullock closes it out. What a win for the Titans on the road. Looked like they were going to go 0-2, a team people talked about with Cleveland and Buffalo and Kansas City in the AFC and Pittsburgh as well. With that big second half I mentioned by Henry, 147 yards and 3 scores, a big difference. What a win for Tennessee on the road. Guys, let's go look at what happened at SoFi with the Chargers and the Cowboys and Justin Herbert against Dak Prescott. Scoreless early. Dallas running game set the tone, Tony.
Yeah, and this is what Dallas has to do to be effective. They've got to use these running backs and their offensive line and be balanced.
And they open the game with a touchdown. They continue to do that. So late first, it's Cowboys up 4, and it's Ezekiel Elliott, a 5-yard touchdown run.
And it was good to see him get the ball and pound it in there. The Cowboys ran the ball very well today.
Dallas ran it for 198. Second quarter, Chargers are down 11. Justin Herbert had to step in and take over, Drew.
Yeah, he did. Throw it to your big man. Mike Williams is one of those guys that can really be a game changer for the Chargers this year.
Missed the 2-point conversion. It's a 3-point game. Later in the third, it's tied at 14, and it's Herbert looking for Keenan Allen. This time, DeMonte KZ is there and comes up with the pick.
Bad luck there. Keenan Allen falls down on the post. Justin Herbert was turning it loose. He stepped in front of him, get the pick.
All right, to the 4th quarter, it's tight. The Chargers are down 3. Herbert throws it to Jared Cook. Looks like it's a touchdown, but illegal shift was called. No touch. Take that graphic down. No touchdown. We're going to hang on. Chargers going to kick the field goal. We're all even at 17. On the ensuing drive, it's Dak and Zeke out of the backfield. Big 3rd down conversion here for the 1st down. Time ticking down. All even at 17. Prescott one more time. Big catch, Amari Cooper in traffic. Dinged up on the play to the 43. Dak takes that timeout. And they're going to bring on Greg Zuerlein looking for redemption. Missed the kick at the end of the game against Tampa from 56 yards. Pounds one through. And the Dallas Cowboys on the road come up with a win. How about that for Jerry and company? 20-17. Maria and Chris, big win. How'd the Cowboys do it?
Love the Jerry Jones reaction right there. And it's so interesting, Chris, because remember in week 1, it was Dak Prescott throwing it all over the field with 58 attempts. And then it seemed like they were leaning more on the run in week 2.
Different game this week. I mean, they won through their defense and the run game. The two-headed monster at running back. It was nice to see.
Okay, well, let's take a deeper look at it. Time now for the Sunday Night Game Flow presented by Progressive.
All right, well, here we go. We said it's defense, running the football, a little versatility on the offensive side of the ball. I thought we might see Dak Prescott just throwing it 55 times a game all year long. But no, Dallas said, hey, we got a really good offensive line. And you see here, Tony Pollard, when he has a little hole, he can hit it at 100 miles per hour. Has the ability to turn the corner. He was very impressive all day long, along with Ezekiel Elliott, who looked really good. This was the star of the day, in my opinion. Michael Parsons, top 11 pick in the draft. He's supposed to be a middle linebacker. They got injuries at defensive end. Oh, yeah, just go rush the passer and be a defensive end. No problem, Coach. I'll be good at it.
Put me in, Coach. All right, that was the Sunday night game flow presented by Progressive. Back to you, Mike.
Good points there. Parsons did have a sack in the game. Pollard over 100 yards. Elliott solid. I think this is a big win for Dallas. Look, they played well in Tampa, the game we were at, the kickoff game. To go to L.A. and get this win over a good Chargers team, Dallas is on the plane feeling good tonight.
They really did. Two things that really stood out to me. Dak Prescott is playing good football. We expected that if he was healthy. He looks like he's healthy. But when they get that running game going also, that's their identity. That's what makes them flow, and they had it today.
Yeah, going into the season, so many question marks about the Dallas Cowboys. Dak's health, the defensive side of the ball, just the fact that as a team they have blocked out that noise. They really played well against Tampa, had a chance to win, go on the road, get a big win against the Chargers. I think they're off to a great start here.
Dallas and Philadelphia meet next Monday night, and we saw Washington play the Giants. Maybe the NFC East is not as bad as it can't be as bad as it was last year, but it looked a little bit better here in Week 2. Chargers, the first team from the AFC West to lose a game this year. Will the Chiefs be the second? Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes on the road in Baltimore. The Ravens are beat up, but these are the games Lamar Jackson and company step it up. Kansas City Chiefs heading back to the locker room. The folks in Baltimore love having primetime games. They feel like they don't get them often enough. You're going to hear them a lot. Can the Chiefs take the fans out of the game? Ravens, Chiefs, Sunday Night Football coming up. But first, the best of Week 2 brought to you by Verizon 5G. Built right. Good slate. Ended up with some good games. Tony, Houston going to Cleveland. And Baker Mayfield happened to win.
Yeah, Baker gave the Cleveland fans a scare, went out making a tackle on an interception, but came back in to lead them to victory.
Houston loses. Also, their quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, injured. They're on a short week. Drew, Josh Allen, and Buffalo getting the win column.
Yeah, bounce-back game for Buffalo going on the road to Miami. Josh Allen scrambles to his right. Don't throw it back across the middle unless you're throwing it to Stephon Diggs and it's going to be a touchdown.
Tua hurt, MRI tomorrow. Raiders 2-0, maybe the most impressive win of the day.
Derek Carr was fantastic, made good decisions, made great throws, but more importantly, led his team to victory in a tough place to win in Pittsburgh.
Miami heads to Vegas next week. Drew, the Saints, really the poorest offensive performance in the Sean Payton era. What happened?
The defensive line for Carolina was all over the Saints. Took away the run game, got pressure on Jameis all day long. Second year in the system for this Carolina Panthers team, and it shows.
They're 2-0 for the first time in 4 years. Tom Brady, 2 games, 9 touchdown passes.
Yeah. Tampa coaches told me before the season started they thought Tom could have his best year ever, and he's off to that kind of start.
Bucs go to L.A. next week to play the Rams in SoFi today. What a game. Came down to the end. Greg Zuerlein, redemption from the opener. A 56-yard game winner. Dallas ran the ball. They were effective. Cowboys get the win over the Chargers, who play the Chiefs next week. Meantime, in Arizona, it came down to the end of this game as well. But Greg Joseph missed a 37-yarder. Kyler Murray and the Cards, 4 touchdowns. They win. Arizona is 2-0. The Rams go to Indy, and Tony, Cooper Kupp, and Matt Stafford continue.
This is why they got Matthew Stafford. When things got shaky, he took over.
Rams are 2-0 for the 4th straight season. Drew, San Francisco goes east and gets a victory.
Yeah, defensive battle the whole time. Neither offense looked really good. They just did enough to win this game.
We'll see the Niners at home next Sunday night against the Packers, who play on Monday night. This came down to the end. Derrick Henry with a big second half on the ground.
Derrick Henry running, and Seattle with foolish penalties turned this game around.
Henry ran for 182. Game-winning field goal from Bullock gives Tennessee a 3.33-30 win. And that's the best of Week 2 brought to you by Verizon. Time now, guys, to spin our attention to tonight. And the picks for tonight's game, this Ravens-Chiefs game, we'll start with our picks, the hometown picks, and we will send it, as they are brought to you by Lowe's, to Jack Collinsworth to get the proceedings going. Jack.
Like 83% of the country is on Kansas City. I made my pick when Lamar Jackson called the Chiefs his kryptonite. Ronnie Stanley's making $98 million to protect the blind side for games like this. But tonight, that $98 million's over on the sideline with an injury. I am on the Kansas City Chiefs. Rod, how about you?
I'm going with the guy that's got a $500 million contract. No way in the world I'm betting against Patrick Mahomes. What I'm interested in seeing is how physical this Raven defense will be against Kelsey and Hill.
Mike Florio, who do you like?
Well, you know, the Ravens had that tough physical overtime game on Monday night against the Raiders. It didn't seem to affect the Raiders earlier today. The Raiders weren't playing the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs.
All right, Mike. You know, I actually do believe in Lamar Jackson. I just believe he's going to go 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes a little bit more, so I got to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got to go the Chiefs, too. Mahomes, Sunday Night Football, too many injuries on this Ravens football team.
Are they going to win all 17 games? This is one of the tough ones for the Chiefs. I am going to save all of you from being trolled on social media. I'll take the Ravens in this game. Drew?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I think they got too much firepower, and the DNA of that Ravens defense is to pressure, and I just think that's going to open up too many opportunities for that Chiefs offense.
Yeah, I know John Harbaugh. I know how he is in these situations. I know what he's going to do in that locker room. I want to go with Baltimore, but everything tells me the Chiefs.
Let's talk about some specifics within the game. What do we want to watch here in the first half?
Well, I think, as Drew said, this is a blitzing team in Baltimore, and Kansas City eats up the blitz. I think they're going to score. So to me, this game, Lamar Jackson, how efficient can you be? Can you make some throws to make big plays and win this game?
That's right. I think on the other side, Ravens defense, can you get pressure with a four-man rush? Can you take away a guy like Tyreek or Travis Kelce? Can you do that enough to make them earn everything that they get and not give up these big plays that are just going to blow this game wide open?
You know, we talk about the running back issues that the Ravens have had and their offensive line issues as well. The corners that they're missing, we don't talk about that enough. That may be the biggest impact on their defense.
And that's trouble against the Chiefs with all their talented receivers.
But I'm not going to talk myself out of my pick. I'm still going to stick with
Okay.
Those are tonight's hometown picks. Yeah, we will see. They're brought to you by Lowe's. And we are ready to go in Baltimore with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes looking to get to 2-0. The Ravens look to avoid the 0-2 start. Al, Chris, and Michelle have the call. Of course, Carrie Underwood kicks us off. Thanks for watching Football Night in America. Enjoy Sunday Night Football, and we'll see you at halftime.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes, or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.